Mirasee.
Long ago, there was a band of monkeys living deep in the forest. They went to a watering hole each day where they drank and took their baths. One moonlit night, the leader of the monkeys could not sleep. He got up to stretch his legs and get a drink of water. When he looked upon the dark surface of the water, what do you think he saw there? He saw the moon's bright reflection shining back at him, and he thought the moon had fallen into the water. Hi, I'm Lisa Bloom, the story coach, and you're listening to Once Upon a Business. In each episode, we'll explore a story, a fairy tale, folk tale, or traditional story, so that we can discover the amazing lessons relevant for business and for entrepreneurs. Wake up, the monkey leader cried to his fellow monkeys. They climbed down from the trees where they were sleeping and tethered around the pool. Look, said the leader, the moon has fallen into the water. If we do not rescue it immediately, the night sky will be doomed forever to darkness. Get a branch so we can climb out over the water and rescue the moon. The monkeys scurried to find a long branch. Hurry, hurry, said the leader. The moon might sink at any moment. A feeble old grandfather monkey looked up to the sky and saw the moon. He scratched himself and mumbled, "The moon is where it always is." But no one heard him. They were too busy dragging the long branch out from under the trees. Some of the monkeys held the branch over the deep water, while others climbed upon it and inched their way towards its tip. As more and more monkeys climbed onto the branch, it began to droop from the weight. It wasn't long before the branch gave out. Suddenly, all the monkeys were pulled with it into the depths of the pool. Only the old one remained on shore. He looked sadly into the water. The moon was still reflected there, but his fellow monkeys were gone without a trace. This tale is from Tibet and interpreted by Erica Halm-Mead. Well, I always get surprised by the darkness of this story. Poor monkeys. And I can see there are important lessons for us in life and business. The moon in the water is, of course, a reflection of the moon in the sky, but only the old grandfather monkey realizes it. When he says that the moon is still where it should be, his voice is not heard, and the monkeys continue in their pointless mission to rescue the moon. There are many stories that remind us to honor our elders, to remember that they hold the wisdom, knowledge, and experience that's often missing in our realms, and even in our leadership, or perhaps especially in our leadership. This is true of business and of politics. We tend to be reactive, to jump to conclusions without taking the time to reflect on the bigger picture, to notice that the moon is still in the sky. Right now, there are many places around the world where leaders have lost sight of the fact that the moon is in place. They're in frantic reaction to a mirror of reality, a story that makes sense to them and yet is not necessarily the reality for everyone else, particularly our elders. The voices of our elders in business and politics are often drowned out by this reactionary drama that leaders cry from the rooftops. At times it's sad, but often it's much worse than sad, it's disastrous. As with the monkeys. This is a relentless story where all the monkeys disappear under the surface and are drowned. The old one is left alone. I think it's a cautionary story, warning us that if we refrain from learning from our elders, this is our destiny, to drown in the mirror of reality, the untruth of our assumptions, and the catastrophizing of the situation around us. In business, we need to have a steady hand and be open to many perspectives so that we can truly assess and analyze any situation. This story suggests that we should have a way to access the wisdom of the elders, perhaps a mentor or coach we can work with to help us maintain our perspective and gain insights beyond our own specific take. Some years ago, I was preparing to host a conference using a story process. I would tell a story over 3 days, getting feedback and input from the audience. And the story had to reflect the themes of the conference, the culture of the host countries, and of course deliver the desired message. It was a complex task, and I'd worked for many months to develop the story. At a certain point, though I loved the story I was working on, I felt some unease. I kept asking myself, who am I to write a fairy tale? Fairy tales should be passed down from generation to generation. Am I being arrogant and presumptive, thinking I can do this at all? That's when I knew I had to check in with the elders. I reached out to a wonderful storyteller that I've learned so much from over the years. Laura Sims has written many wonderful books and is an amazing performer and storytelling teacher. I asked if she would work with me to help develop the story. I wanted to make sure that the story had integrity as a story, not just for the purpose I needed it for. I needed to make sure that I hadn't killed the story by trying to have it contain so much. We worked together for some weeks, and then I was ready to go. To this day, it was one of the best stories I've ever written and performed in my life. It was such an honor to work with the wisdom, knowledge, and experience of an elder in my field. This story, The Monkeys Rescue the Moon, invites us to do just that. I'm Lisa Bloom, and you've been listening to Once Upon a Business. You can find out more about me at story-coach.com. That's story-coach.com. Once Upon a Business is part of the Mirasee FM podcast network, which also includes such shows as Making It and Behind the Launch. This episode of Once Upon a Business was produced by Cynthia Lamb. Michi Lantz assembled the episode. Danny Inney is our executive producer. To catch the great episodes that are coming up on Once Upon a Business, please like and follow us on Mirasee FM's YouTube channel or your favorite podcast player. And if you enjoyed the show, please leave us a comment or a starred review. It's the best way to help us get these ideas to more people. Thank you. We'll see you next time.